Harif is gone, because that hero is it should be an illegal hero to play. Like, we shouldn't even, like, it should be banned by default, right? Just so other heroes will have a chance. Moskov, Phobius, Matilda banned by Onyx PH, and Kalia, Harif, and Fanny banned by Papa Supermassive. So Tusin, Loi both open, Suyo as well.
Yeah, you also have the Badang. If Brusco wants to pick that up, he could. Well, Granger as well, actually, for Kaora.
And what's the priority? I feel like you probably look at Suyo or Tusin. Tusin isn't... I think for Onyx PH, they probably won't be looking at Tusin as much because they willingly let it through. Yeah, against Onyx, against Liquid ID anyways. King Kong has been playing some mean Hanzo games, right? They are putting Kirk back on heroes like Gatot and Hilda. So yeah, Suyo, I think it makes a lot of sense, because now you put some pressure on the Papa Supermassive, right? You initiate a trade. Do you want to take that Tusin away? Because Loi is also still up on the table.
Well, to be honest though, I think for Onyx PH, picking up the Suyo, best choice. They know that Moji can't handle its side lane split pushes, so now they're going to be picking up the Badang for themselves. And I think if they don't pick up the Loi, Super Friends will snatch that up right off the bat. You also got the Lucas right open, and Kirk might be able to take that up as well. So they opt to go for the Granger Badang. Lucas, Loi, that's going to be scary as heck for Papa Supermassive.
Yeah, it's going to be... I feel like even in the first phase, Onyx PH are getting some power picks, but we did talk about comfort for Supermassive. This Badang, we've seen it in both Rome and XP. I personally felt like Bossfest Badang has been pretty nasty, so it definitely wouldn't put it past him to be on that Badang again. Iritel Hilda for Onyx PH, and then a Joy for Papa Supermassive. And I think Onyx PH, they really have kind of the answers, at least in the direct matchup, right? Iritel on the Granger, and then you got the Hilda for Kirk, which is going to be a brick wall.
I think what Papa Supermassive's game plan is sort of like, let's just hold the line. We don't need to play it too much around a particular player like Xiao. You don't want to wait for him to scale up a little bit too much. And they picked the Joy, sort of like not really a counter to King Kong, but it's sort of like, I want to catch up to his speed, especially when we're playing in the side waves and he's pushing it in. I need to bring someone over to maintain that line.
You're also dealing
so
with...
still open though, Husky?
It is still open. Papa Supermassive putting their attention onto Brusco's hero pool, so no Jawhead and Show for the pick-off and disruption onto, you know, Moji and Xiao, which very understandable, right? Like 3 out of the 5 bans were directed at Brusco, but right now is the important choice. Loi, Jusin, they are both insanely good picks, and now the trade is imminent. Like, you have to make the trade.
I mean, if Brusco wants, he could always go back to the Matilda. You can never go wrong with that one.
Matilda's
That's gonna be the Gatot pick. Yeah. Matilda's banned. Oh, sorry. Matilda's banned out. Yeah, but the Lucas is open as well. If he wants to swap it over to a Hilda, Rome might be possible.
Unless you go for a CC for Kirk, which I can't see happening. I mean, there's still like what,
CC?
Khalid for Brusco. The Tig is always there, even though it's not the most popular pick right now, but it's definitely there.
Loi definitely really strong pick.
Yep,
so it's gonna be Loi for Super Friends. Brusco though. Florin could go for the Enchanter this time.
Yeah, actually it's the take for Brusco. Very straightforward, right? Like, you have great cross-map movements, high mobility, and you have some great setup with Brusco, right? So those combos are going to be deadly. So we get a Novaria instead for Papa Supermassive. Which honestly, you know, in hindsight, I can see the applications, right? Your Astro Echo, yeah, you get the ping, and then it does make it easier for the rest of your abilities to hit, because a lot of them really needs to connect with the target to be effective.
I think it's also sort of like a ult to counter the Loi. You use your Astro Echo, you're able to seek out the bushes, able to check that maps, but then again, in the late game, you are not as viable as other bursty kind of mages. It's not really an artillery, it's a sniper, so to speak.
It feels like a slightly all-in-ish way of approaching this game too, right? Like, you look at Badai and Gatot, they are all-in heroes, so we gotta see what Papa Supermassive have in store. I definitely do like the ingenuity but whether it's enough to take on Onyx PH remains to be seen as we hop into game 1.
We're starting things off. It's both jungles on the opposite side of the map. I do prefer the Suyu on King Kong, one of his signature picks. I think Papa Supermassive may have taken a big gamble here, giving King Kong one of his most comfortable heroes right off the bat in game number 1.
Not only that, even the Luo Yi to Super Prince, right? He was known for that Luo Yi. Although I would say that Moji's gonna have a faster start.
Ooh.
First blood already.
Speak about fast start. That is right underneath the turret. After Dark can't get away from Super Friends.
How
already
did
at the
that
lethal.
happen?
I think Brusco just... Okay, Super Friends popped a flicker, so that might be a chase attempt.
Yeah. Probably the duality reaction right into Brusco's damage. This is a nightmare because After Dark essentially just lost the lane.
Ramping up the aggression really fast. King Kong trying to go for After Dark once again. No flicker, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's 2 deaths for After Dark. The turtles haven't even spawned up yet.
Oh man, I think that lane is pretty much over. They're gonna see Moji taking that lizard, which is a very small deal, you know. King Kong doesn't really care about that. The fact that like Novari is in the spot right now, if you fall behind, you essentially just lose a lot of agency.
Oh, here comes King Kong with a massive hit. Bloodspet right into the turret, gets taken out by King Kong. 3-0 in favor of Onyx PH.
Horrible.
Economy's rising. It's not even 2 minutes, Husky.
After Dark might just go down again, forced to run away. I mean, that was I'm not really sure what the idea was from Bloodspet, you know. There's a tick in front of a tier 1. You can't do that taunt without expecting to get pushed under turret. So it was pretty much a free kill given over to Onyx PH. King Kong getting 2 of them. Of course, he's also rocking the killing spree, the new one, which makes him even stronger when he gets these chain takedowns going. You don't even need to get the kill. You just need to be within the 3-second window of the damage dealt.
Well, here comes Onyx PH. They know what's up. They want to go for that purple buff. They're setting their eyes set on Wasa. You got an implosion going on. Wasa goes down once again. And Kirk keeps Bloodspet busy. But Moji nowhere to be seen. Right off the map on the opposite side, taking down the purple buff from King Kong.
King Kong's gonna go for the retribution on the purple buff. So both junglers swap the buffs. But I mean, under 3 minutes, Papa Supermassive forced into damage control mode. And now all eyes are going to be on Moji and Xiao. Because that mid lane, like After Dark, he's rendered useless, at least for the next 5 minutes. And unfortunately for Bloodspet, he's not even 40 yet. He's a full level behind Brusco. So, and not to mention, this matchup is already pretty brutal for the Gatot. And being behind makes it a lot worse.
Yeah, 3 minutes on the clock. It's 2,000 gold lead in favor of Onyx PH. Kirk opening up that map, doesn't see Moji right there and then, but doesn't really matter because he's got his eyes set on that mid lane, trying to push in. So you see that tilting scales, and that's what I like about Onyx PH. Like, if they leave a lane empty, it's Kirk going over and try to manage that wave and try to maintain that lane priority.
Also understanding that with the concussive blast, he just clears wave a lot faster than Wasa can. So to get that movement early, and now an invade into Papa Supermassive jungle.
Ramping up the aggression. Does look like Onyx PH wants to get a little bit of vision, but the more time Papa Supermassive has 5 members protecting that orange buff, the better it is for Onyx PH as they're circulating around that map. Won't be able to steal it this time around as Papa Supermassive breathes some signs of life into their team.
While all of that was happening, Carol actually was farming a little bit on that mid side, so you know they are winning top side.
Oh, underneath that turret, pop that flicker. Xiao down low, will be hit. 1 hit, Kara takes him out.
That is some crazy tower aggro. With King Kong using the iframes on both the Blade Surge and Qual the Evo, he keeps de-aggroing the turret. Meanwhile, Xiao is taking 3 damage because Kara is just, you know, stutter stepping in and out of turret range while hitting the shots with the heavy crossbow. So now, Onyx PH essentially won all 3 lanes, and now we even get another divergent attempt. Kirk sent to the top side of the map.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure onto Xiao. Doesn't want to give him time to farm or space underneath that turret once again. Here comes Kiara and Kirk taking out Xiao again, but here comes the backup. Kiara down low, taken out by Moji, forced to use that flicker to get out of the way. So they got Xiao. It's 0-2-1, but they lost Kiara in the end.
So a bit of a minor shutdown. The kill going over to Moji is pretty important. That's the goal injection that he needs, right? He is going to be the pillar that holds this team together, at least for the next 3 to 5 minutes for before the rest of his team can catch up. But Xiao being delivered 2 deaths just like that is going to definitely hurt his chances. Now he can never fight Kara head on.
Sitting underneath the aggro, Kurt giving a little bit of vision onto Moji, and wherever he is, conceal play in the diversion. Misses the implosion though, but it's a free orange buff for King Kong.
Yeah, it's a bit of resources committed, but it really doesn't matter. Super Frizz even gets away. I'm not really sure what the idea was from Bloodsfat. And I gotta say, you did highlight Moji, playing pretty out of his mind yesterday despite losing some games. He is essentially doing his due diligence, changing his pathing according to where Onyx PH are, and that's how he's been able to barely keep up with King Kong.
Speaking about keeping up, it's Papa Supermassive playing to Onyx PH's momentum. They can't keep up with Onyx PH. King Kong's everywhere, and Papa Supermassive hunkering down, just sitting underneath that turret, just praying that they play a defensive game, which is not what they want to do when they're facing up against a strong PH team like Onyx.
Not to mention that Papa Supermassive don't really have a way to start a fight, right? You don't have the most reliable setup like Brusco's Tigreal. For you, it's up to Wasa and Blossom to make it happen. Midside, after dark.
Oh, King Kong always hitting that quell, but not enough. And after dark, gets away safe. That's a diversion play. Kirk taken over to that top side to maintain, but it looks like they won't go any further. This is the discipline coming out from Onyx PH.
Kirk managing to clear out the top wave too. Plus King Kong smelling that someone might be in the bush. It's all about protecting Moji, right? He did get his purple buff, but Onyx Philippines, they're gonna set up for the third turtle on this top side. Yeah, Digression showing through. Moji's all alone though. Sees King Kong right there, and then you've got the Retribution. King Kong steals it away. Now he's 2 levels ahead of Moji, who really doesn't have much more camps to farm, so King Kong goes onto the turtle without any contest. Papa Supermassive, it just kind of feels like yesterday. I think Team Falcons Meta against Aurora Turkey, we saw kind of the same response right now, but on Papa Supermassive instead, where 5 men are forced to play together way early on. Here comes Brusco, he's got Xiao, getting that pushback, stopped up, underneath the purple. It won't be enough to take anyone down. The backup came through a little bit too late for Onyx PH, and they lost Brusco in the end. Onyx PH understood that Brusco is bound to go down. They were not really in the position to fight, but they did get what they came for, right? The purple buff, at least, not the purple buff, at least the mid-tier 1 going down, and that's more than enough for Onyx PH. You want to open up the map, you want to get more control for your team. I still think it's a net positive for the Super Fan. Yeah, for Onyx PH though, you got Kara with a huge power spike. The Malefic gun already bought up. Papa Supermassive again on the back foot. There's a lot of damage onto Xiao with just 2 strikes and the physical damage reduction. Man, he's just testing that damage, but Kara is coming online faster than we can say. Holy crap. Not only that, this Malefic gun makes it harder for Papa Supermassive to even get on top of Kara, right? Like Badang, Joy, Gatot, they all need to be close range. And speaking about Joy, he is forced away. Moji doesn't have anywhere to play with. AOG will miss its mark. Kara down low will be able to escape. It went a little bit too deep, forcing Papa Supermassive out. It's all in the script. It might be going again. Is Wasa taken care of by Kirk? They'll touch and they go. It's Onyx PH just taking what they can. It's the discipline from a top-tier world-class team. It's a bloody game 1. 6 kills for Onyx PH, 2 for Papa Supermassive. It definitely felt more than that, but just look at the lead that Onyx has generated for themselves. Purple buff jacked by King Kong. A 6.5k goal advantage. Xiao forced to go for a dire hit. Roam Blessing. And that's how dire things are. Encourage Blessing for After Dark. Really scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. And this Lord, there's no way to contest this. Papa Supermassive would just have to take it up the bag. And hopefully defend this Lord Siege without losing an inhibitor and skill. Call it respect, call it fear, but here comes Kara underneath the turret. Moji takes a little bit too much damage. As Kara taking the turret aggro, will be able to get out safe, but AOG will land on 2. You got the fist crack onto 2 as well. Papa Supermassive takes down Super Friends. They find 1, but they have to deal with the Lord that's coming up in a couple seconds. Either way, it's good stuff. Super Prince, he can easily respawn in the next 14 seconds and then just use the diversion to join his team if need be. Brusco wasn't in the right position to provide the counter engage with that flicker implosion, and Onyx PH, they made the decisive call to just back off, right? There's no need to commit to the fight. They're so far ahead. It's only a matter of time before they find a win.
Oh, King Kong with the quell. Implosion on the back line. Here comes Kalra. The cavalry is here. Xiao healing back up as King Kong tries to take him out with the Zephyr. He will. King Kong defending, tries to go in for Waka once again. It's a double kill for King Kong. This guy is just a madman. You can't get into his face.
Oh, King Kong, the beast from Philippines. Smooth movements and 2 swift assassinations onto Xiao and Wasa. Lord's gonna crash bottom. It should be cleared out by that Novaria at least. So no inhibitors will go down on the side of Papa Supermassive in this first Lord attempt. They're gonna lose their holy shoes. But blessing in disguise, I suppose. Bottom might be sieged again. Astro Echo and a bit of defense is enough.
Kirk taking a little bit too much. He will go down by Xiao. So that's good defense from Papa Supermassive, buying them a little bit of time for them to at least equalize on a PH. But how do you equalize a 9,000 gold lead?
Yeah, 9,000 gold lead indeed. Moji tried to kind of touch King Kong a little bit, forced to back away. He actually did get his Holy Crystal, but we gotta look at the damage leaderboard because right now it's looking pretty grim for Papa Supermassive. King Kong leading with 40k, followed by Kelra with 27. You look at Papa Supermassive, their damage dealers are struggling to keep up, and it's gonna be damage control mode for the rest of the game. When you look at this replay, this is the one Brusco held on to that flicker implosion, finds the backline, Xiao and Moji forced out of the fight in an instant, and King Kong with the chase down just made it look flawless. That low cooldown that he has, Soul Sever assassination on both the targets.
Yeah, on that backside though, I think in hindsight, Brusco actually made an incredible play, forcing Xiao to pop that flicker. He wanted to get over that wall, but he was a little bit too late. He got out safe, but the rest was, as they hate say, is history. Papa Supermassive unable to find any form of damage when it comes down to big skirmishes. A team that is so pronounced in team fights, unable to win out in these skirmishes.
We just have to see how Papa Supermassive deals with this. This is the second Lord, and as much as they want to contest this, it's going to take a gargantuan effort, right? Kirk is going to set up this slow push on the bottom side, and now it's all about the macro, what Papa Supermassive have been struggling with.
Oh, great implosion onto 2, but here comes Onyx PH trying to get more, takes down Wasa.
King Kong!
Diversion onto the back line. King Kong finds the angle, takes down 2. Xiao's nowhere to be seen. No more damage dealer. Kalra finishes Moji up. It's 2v4 as Onyx PH ditches that Lord and wants to go for the end. The bottom lane's already slow pushing in. Kirk flickers underneath. They take down King Kong though. Kirk goes down as well. It's a 2-on-2 as Kalra tries to take down that bottom lane turret. But they're ramping up the momentum. It's Bloodspet against the world. Watts is coming up in 3. They might be able to defend this one. It's Bloodspet taking a lot of damage from Kalra. He is going to be hard to handle.
The game is not going to end here, but Kirk even has a Blade of Heptases. That's why he basically just 100-0 after Dark underneath the turret. They felt so strong. It was a minor 2k gold swing for Papa Supermassive, but it's not big enough. They still need more moments like that. Obviously, you have that stray diversion for Super Frizz to save his teammate and relocate King Kong in the fight to give them that victory. We see Rose Gold meter on Kalra right now. He is already untouchable, but right now, feels like he's near immortal.
Yep, we're starting things off with the Lord Dance, the diversion play up on that top long bush. Xiao taking a little bit low. Moji tries to go for that steal. He gets that Lord. He gets the retribution though. Xiao takes down one. Kalra taking down, gunning everyone down. King Kong tries to chase, unable to jump through that wall. As Kirk tries to push him back. No more Moji, no more Xiao. They got that Lord, but the Lord will be spawning up in 4 seconds. They're facing up against 4 members of Onyx PH. This might be it for Papa Supermassive as everyone is ramping up the tempo. Kalra once again. No one can stop the gold standard underneath the turret, taking out after dark. Another one to his name. Bloodspec goes down, and the rest, as they say, is history. Onyx PH with the win.
Super Fam strikes hard, true, and fast in this game 1.